Hello YouTube, this is Omid here bringing another Black Ops 3 zombie theory video where I talk about the kind of zombie ideas that I have for zombie maps in the future, specifically the Die Rise map that's going to be coming at the end of January. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about the wonder weapons that I'd like to see, as well as other weapons as well, because, hopefully, because of the vast archives of guns in Black Ops 3, we'll be able to see a bit more variety in the guns between the maps. I mean, we've already seen it, a small level of this so far, with different guns being available in Transit and Nuketown Zombies. For the first weapon I'm going to be discussing isn't actually a gun at all. It's one of the wonder grenades that we've seen in the past, from the monkey bomb to the Ghost device to the MP grenade. This one's going to be called the Extractor, and in appearance it's similar to the sensor grenade from multiplayer, but it flashes sort of a purple and crimson when held and about to activate. You're granted 3 of them to throw when you get it out of the box, or through a max ammo when you already have it. And when you throw it, a sort of spherical shield is projected around it with a sort of crimson and purple tint to it. And basically what happens is any zombie that enters this shield spasms, and then a red mist is pulled from their chest, and then the zombie dies and the red mist is absorbed into the grenade in the middle of the shield, and basically this instantly kills any zombie any round, no problem at all. However, after 24 zombies have been killed by the shield is overloaded by the 115 that's been absorbed into it, and it breaks, lowering the shield. Also, if a player is inside the shield, the noise from the outside is dampened, so it's a sort of muffled sound, as well as your shots. So there's a sort of sound effect when you're inside the shield, and any bullets you fire in the shield receive a small damage boost. However, firing a bullet inside the shield depletes it, which means it won't last as long. If no zombies or bullets are fired within the shield, it can pretty much last for as long as you want. It doesn't have a time delay or anything like that, but it wouldn't be much use if you didn't have that. Basically, the idea of this kind of shield is, one, if you're going for, say, a sort of camping spot, you could throw the shield down, and then any zombie that tries to spawn in a particular area would be killed by the shield, which allows you to hold out in a particular camping spot that might otherwise not be good. Also, it's good for camping if you throw it down and then you can get sort of hold off from inside the shield, because if you can use the damage boost with, say, a high-powered weapon as it is, like a sniper rifle, and stop the zombies getting close enough to the shield, it gives you a good camping spot, but it gives you a damage boost. And then if you're being overwhelmed, the shield itself will be able to hold back the zombies for long enough for you to switch to a better weapon. And overall, that's the kind of shield that it would do. That's the only grenade I could think of at the moment, so let's move on to the wonder weapon guns. So the first one is Inverter. So the design of this weapon is very black, very sleek, and sort of very spiky with lots of sharp edges. It has a magazine size of 2 with another spare capacity of 12, and when you shoot it at a group of zombies, there's 2 possible effects, and there's a 50-50 chance either will happen. Effect 1 is dubbed the high gravity effect. Zombies are flattened into the floor and are squished into a sort of nasty looking paste. Or if the group of zombies is large enough, the whole group sort of smashes through the floor and then disappears to the lower levels. Not sure if this would work in Transit though, because of the destructible environments and all that kind of stuff, so it would most likely just paste the zombies against the floor. And then the second effect is low gravity, and basically whenever a group of zombies is hit by this, they just float away. Pretty simple, but anyway. So when you pack a punch the Inverter, you get the Diverter, and basically it doubles the magazine size ammo and adds another possibility to the gun, so you get a sort of 33% chance either way of any of the effects happening. And this new effect is basically a Ghost device black hole. So you shoot a group of zombies, they turn into a black hole, and then for a few seconds later all the other zombies are sucked into it. However, you can't use the black hole in the same teleporting way as the Ghost. If you try and go into the black hole, it's going to kill you. just be warned. So the second wonder weapon is called the atomizer. So this is a sort of shifting cloud of nanobots or nanites that swarm around the central sort of handle of the gun itself. So there's a sort of fixed handle that you draw it out, and then a lot of nanobots swarm around it. And when you reload the gun, the sort of swarm dies and turns into a bit of dust, and then you bring out a new handle and a new swarm is released. Magazine size is 6, spare capacity ammo 66. And basically whenever zombies are hit by this, they simply disintegrate. It'll only affect one zombie at a time when you hit it, but then the zombie that's hit will turn into a further cloud of these nanobots, and then basically any other zombies that happen to pass through this cloud are eaten up and converted into these nanobots as well. So basically it works very well with large groups of zombies because you hit the zombie in front and then the whole group behind it are killed. Note, however, that this cloud's short-lived, so although it could last for a long time, if you keep chaining more and more zombies into it, most of the time this cloud won't last any more than 1 or 2 seconds. Also, there's a disadvantage that hitting a zombie with this kind of swarm will turn it into a special zombie that's a sort of living nanite zombie swarm. I'll talk about that in the next episode. But like the EMP grenade in transit, this wonder weapon has a lot of different abilities depending on what you hit. So for the zombies, you get the simple kill them effect. If you hit the random box, it breaks it up and then returns it into a sort of modern and more sleek box, which could be called the pack-a-punch box. And basically, you still get the guns out of it, but they're always pack-a-punched. So you always get a pack-a-punch gun out of the box. However, it's more expensive at £5,000, so you might get a slight discount if you get a gun that you would have pack-a-punched anyway. But then if you get something that you didn't want to pack-a-punch, not too bad. You've just spent basically that amount of points pack-a-punching it. If you shoot a perk machine, the perk machine breaks down and then reforms into a new perk machine. So say you shoot a speed cola machine and it turns into quick revive. This is quite useful because it allows you to essentially place perk machines where you want, but you could keep shooting the same perk machine until it turns into the one you want. Say you want Juggernog in your favourite area because if you go down you want to pick it up immediately, or a quick revive on solo or something like that. And also this effect can be exploited because there's a hidden perk machine. Say that, Treyarch introduce a new perk, or they want to bring an old one like Mule Kick or something like that back. Basically, Mule Kick is never available at the start of the map. So when you go into Die Rise, none of the perk machines are Mule Kick, but there is a chance that if you shoot a perk machine with the atomizer, it'll turn it into Mule Kick. This is also quite useful because, as I mentioned in the gameplay section, at the start of the map, there's a perk machine that's destroyed once you leave the starting area. This wonder weapon will allow you to essentially gain access to that perk again if you're lucky. Also, the atomizer can affect teammates if you hit them. So say you hit your teammate with the atomizer, and basically it gives them invincibility and the ability and insta kill, but for their knife only, not their gun, for about 5 seconds. And also, if you're playing Grief and you shoot a member of the rival team with the atomizer, you blind them for 5 seconds because the swarm sort of gets attached to their face and stuff, so they're blinded. Quite interesting to see how that would pan out in Grief. And when you pack-a-punch it, you basically, it doesn't really do much. This isn't a gun that gains a lot by pack-a-punching it would be renamed to the Obliterator, get more ammo, and maybe the chances on perks turn into a different kind of perk is fixed a bit. Maybe the pack-a-punch machine box gets a discount, but nothing big benefits of pack-a-punching an atomizer. So the final wonder weapon for the day is called the Magnetron. Magazine size of just 1, but you get 15 ammo, and it's essentially a very old school sort of steampunk looking gun. It's made up of sort of wood and copper, and the barrel is essentially a brass coil. And basically what happens is it's like the atomizer, it only hurts one zombie at a time directly. And basically whenever a zombie is hit by this, it becomes magnetized, and then there's a sort of effect where lots of sort of scrap metal and parts and all that kind of stuff that are lying around the map fly towards this zombie and kill it. But any other zombies that get between the scraps of metal and the main zombie that's been hit by this blast are damaged by it as well. So essentially, if you shoot at one zombie in the middle of a group, the effect will last for quite a long time, because all the other parts will start killing all the other zombies before they get to the main one. And this sort of magnetic effect lasts until the initial zombie is killed. Once it dies, you don't get the effect anymore, or after 30 seconds, it'll lose its magnetized state. Pretty simple, but pretty powerful as well in the right hands. And when you pack a bunch, it goes from the magnetron to the singularity. Similar kind of effects. You get a more ammo, but instead of just attracting loose parts from around the map and pulling it towards the zombie, other zombies are pulled into it as well. So basically what happens is this pack-a-punch unit increases its effectiveness because it's effectively pulling zombies towards it, increasing the chance that other zombies are going to take the hit. But when you're using the magnetron or the singularity, you sort of want the non-magnetized zombies to be hit by it, because that means the effect will last longer, which means they'll do more damage overall. Another weapon that could be added to the box, but not necessarily be a wonder weapon, that I thought of would be it's sort of like a weapon, sort of like a tool, and basically it's a radio set that you get out of the box, and basically when you use it, you sort of call, like on the radio, your character goes, "Help, we're being swarmed by zombies, help us please." Because, you know, if you were in LA, there's obviously going to be other survivors. It's a big city, you know, other people will be surviving alongside you, so basically use the radio to call them to see if they give you a helping hand. And basically how it works is when it's used, you'll get some random support action to help you out. Now this can be anything from, say, some survivors in another building providing you sniper support, so like for a few minutes they'll snipe some of the zombies, and maybe a helicopter drops up some ammunition crates onto one of the rooftops to give your weapons a refill. Even maybe like the US Air Force comes in and drops some napalm on top of the rooftops to burn anything on that building. Just make sure you're not on that one. So obviously you don't get points for it, it's just, you know, like a weapon that you can use to help out. It could also have some implications if you're trying to do the Easter egg as well, possibly. Now, instead of being too powerful, it has unlimited usage, but you can only use it, say, every 5 rounds. So you use it, you have to wait another 5 rounds to before you can call it. And again, if you try and do it between the rounds, you'll get a response. Like, we're a bit busy holding off on our own here, you know, give us a minute. And also the radio itself, there's a sort of light on it, and if it's green, it means when you radio in, you'll get something. If it's red, it means you won't. And basically it's just like, you know, it's a useful tool to sort of shake up the kind of weapons you can get out of the box and its uses. But yeah, that's about it. In terms of guns that aren't wonder weapons, I'd like to see a return to the World of War maps, or the World of War guns, like the PBSH, the Thompson, the MG42, the Browning, these kind of stuff. Because, you know, we've seen Black Ops 1 guns and Black Ops 2, and I'd quite like to see these old World of War guns making a return. I'm not sure how likely it is now that they aren't in, you know, seeing as they weren't initially in the game files, but it's just something I'd like to see. That's about it. I mean, the only other thing I'd mention is that I'd like to see more utterly hopeless sort of guilt guns in the box, because I mean we already have some pretty awful stuff like the initial war machine, the SMR, that kind of stuff, but I'd like to see some really awful ones. Like, for example, one thing I'd really like to add to the box is the Springfield rifle from World of War, where essentially it was just pathetic. Or maybe add a few sound effects like Victor and laughing at the player whenever they get the box. You know, something like that, just to add the risk of the box, you know, so you can get some really hopeless guns out of it. But yeah, that's about it for this episode. So next episode we'll be talking about the special types of zombies. Until then, this has been Agent. Thank you and goodbye.